Okay, so I need you to tell me, what do you see here?
A circle.
Well, yes, it is a circle. But beyond that, what I see is a cycle. And what is a cycle? A cycle is a series of events that are regularly repeated in the same order. For example, the water cycle, the life cycle, and biochemical cycles. But no one has really told us about the cycle that I mean, the affective cycle. And what do I mean by that? I'm talking about the cycle that every person has to go through when we start meeting people. But the actual psychological name is the 5 phases of the emotional cycle of change. Includes uniform optimism, informed pessimism, the valley of despair, hopeful realism, informed pessimism, and success, and finally, fulfillment. Okay, but I'm going to start a little more back in time. At our young age, when we are babies, we need a pacifier or a bottle to be calm. And when we don't have that, we get into a little moments of crisis and anxiety. That's why many parents use them so their children can be calm just for a moment. So, when I was little, my mother told me that a little bird grabbed my pacifier and has taken it away. So, stories like these are the ones that we are told when we are young. So, the fact that we don't get hurt too much when we realize that we are never going to be able to see that pacifier or bottle again. And that's why, when we are little, we learn how to let go those things that we believe or that people make us believe that we need all the time. But I will not base myself on the concept of a romantic relationship because I think we know enough about that topic. I would like to start with a phrase of the movie that I think each of you have seen, and it's the one of the Castañeda. And it says, you can't really hold on to someone, because the tighter you hold on to them, they more want to escape. All you can do is love them and make sure they know that you are never going to slip away. So, I began to think too much on this phrase, which is truly true, but there is something in which I disagree, and is always having to be there for a person, deep down knowing that probably you are giving more than what you receive. And my grandmother always told me, don't run for someone who wouldn't walk for you. And this phrase is always in my mind. So, all these phrases come to my mind while I am thinking that all these situations when you start to relate to people or when you became very close to a person. The first stages are when you met the people. Then you start to become constant with that person. You get to know more each other, and there comes a point in which day by day it's a part of you, and or even a very special part. And all this sounds nice, right? Of course they do, but all the cycles have to come to an end. They should come to an end, but as their name says, they are cycles that do not have an end. And since we are not used to that happening, it only remains to accept it and decide to take that experience to move forward with our lives and with much more strength and learn from those mistakes. Or you can only cry and regret it, but my personal thought is that at the end of the day, there is no use to crying and regretting if we are not going to do nothing about it. And since we're not used to that happening, I sincerely believe that each people in our lives has a purpose. And more than the fact that we can go and have fun with them, I believe that each person on our lives teach us things that you may not understand now. But as we grow, we will realize that thanks to them, we're a little stronger. Thanks to each person in our lives has built that grain of sand where either a bad experience or a good experience left you, then they have to take it to continue growing. Now, I will tell you a little brief story when I was on second of primary or material school. And thanks to that, I realized that it was true. The fact that each person has their stages in our lives and moments that we cannot always keep them tied up with us. I met a very nice girl, and since we met, she was my best friend. But one day, which did not plan, without thinking about it, she became a day-to-day to me. She was always by my side, and she was always there every day. Years passed, and she was still my best friend. But one strange day, the things changed. I only remember that this friendship was over 7 years old, and we started to grow up apart without knowing it. We said that we are going to be friends forever, and when we grow up, we will have a house and we will live when we grow up. But one day, those dreams disappeared. We had changed and had a very different mentality. Today, she is still very important to me, even though I don't show her every day. She is no longer my best friend for life, but I will carry her in my memory for the rest of my life. That's why we have to learn to let go of people. And when enough time passes, where you realize that everything happens for a reason. And thanks to that person that caused you let go, thanks to that you learned and became a better person, a stronger person, a more understanding person, a more loving person, a person who values things more, and even a kindest person. It is when you will go back on time and give thanks for those difficult stages in your lives. And you already realize that you have to live and continue moving forward no matter how difficult it is. That day you will understand that no matter how difficult it is to let go of those you love but who hurt you. That day you will give yourself a hug and thank yourself for taking care of you. And this is how I will apply this talk. I will take all these little pieces of memories, experiences, and learnings that are already broken. I will take them and transform them into something that I know it will help me in the future, or simply help me to keep moving. And if one day we get to see those people who help us without knowing it, and thanks to those we are who we are, look at them with a smile and thank them. Because thanks to that, I know your heart becomes stronger and even bigger. And I will tell you that I am very proud of each of you without knowing you. Because once again, you managed to overcome those stages and you are now here. And if you are on that process, be calm. Breathe in and get up one more time. And you will realize that everything at the end will be worth it. Thank you.